trouble for that, but my sister was in more trouble because I was lost in the woods. I was straight up lost. Okay, my mother thought I was gonna be dead. Uh, um, so they came looking for me, and then she mostly got in trouble because she left me there. But she was like, "Well, she hit me with a baseball bat, and you're not gonna do anything about that." So that sibling rivalry, and I'm sure I did apologize. Anyhow, when my mother and father were together for a very short time that I was alive, because they got divorced when I was 8-ish, and fights would break out all the time. And we were upstairs in our bedroom. If we were downstairs and my mother knew it was about to happen, she would say, "Run upstairs, go in your bedroom, close your door, and lay on your bed, put your pillows over your head," because she knew my father was going to be cursing. She didn't curse. My father would be cursing. We would hear horrible things. So my sister Christine and my sister Susan would run on the bed and do exactly that, and lay down, put the pillows over their stuffed animals' pillows over their heads, and cry. Both of them cry on the beds. And I would get off the bed and crawl over to the door and open it. And Susan would say, and Christine would say, "I'm telling Mommy that you were listening. We're not supposed to do that." And they would be crying because it was so awful. You'd hear things breaking. I would think my mother was getting hurt, and I wanted to defend her. But I was a little peanut, 30 pounds or whatever. Actually, when I was in third grade, I was only 38 pounds in third grade. So 7 years old, I was probably 30 pounds. Anyway, I was little, very tiny compared to now. Okay. Anyhow, so I would crawl over to the door, open it a crack, and lay there against the floor listening, and I would laugh. Okay. Was I happy that my mother was probably almost getting hurt and killed, and things were getting broken all the time? My father we would just get home from the store, and we would have a loaf of Wonder Bread, and he got into a fight with my mother, and he put on the stove and threw the plastic and the whole loaf of Wonder Bread in the flames. And the plastic, I could still smell the plastic and the bread burning. It's like, just, So anyhow, I would laugh. I would smile and I would laugh. I didn't know how to release that stress, that worrying about my mother, who was my world. Best person in the world was my mother. And they would just yell at me and say they were going to tell my mother. And I knew I just couldn't leave the door. For some reason, staying at the door, getting ready to save my mother somehow, some way, or just maybe him knowing that I was listening, and there was noise upstairs. Maybe we would get beat with the belt, but it was worth it if he would leave my mother alone. Anyhow, so my point being, I was laughing. Okay, I couldn't cry. I couldn't put the pillow over my head and just make believe that I didn't hear it. My sister Christine would sing, "La la 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 la, this isn't happening," and Susan would cry. And I would be over by the door laughing, okay, or giggling, and the emotion did not fit. But I've been to therapy, and they told me that is just as the same as crying, that you're just grabbing the wrong emotion. Okay, and then you use that emotion later. It's just that you feel like if you start crying, you're never going to end. You're never going to be able to stop, ever. And especially if you're in a public situation, you'll go to smile, because if you're not smiling or smirking, you'd be crying and showing the world how you really feel. Okay, anyhow, so that's my shtick on Burke. So yes, he was jealous of that attention that JB got. He hit her with a golf club, I think. It also was known or said in paperwork that he did smear poop on her toys. He did smear poop on JB's bed. Why? Jealousy? Envy? Is that a weird thing to do? Yeah, it is. I didn't really have enough time in the psychology books to look that one up. But that is also, she did get in trouble when she would pee her bed. Now, of course, Patsy Ramsey said, oh, it's no big deal. And then she would look away. It was a big deal. It was a big deal to her. She's more of a control freak. But he did it because that released something in him. Maybe she'll get in trouble and not me. And also, I believe, based on my readings for the family, I saw Burke being sexually abused as well, hurt as well. And so it would make sense for him to take his poop and put it in her bed. She'll get in trouble. How is anybody going to know it's not hers? But smearing her toys with it to make her get in trouble, or to make her not have the toys or not be happy about the toys, like soiling the toys for her. So severe jealousy going on, and definitely, needed to get counseling. But who knows what was going on in that house? Okay, I'll tell you a little bit about what I got. But do I think Burke did it? No, I do not. I do not. But I never say that I'm God, or that I know everything, or that I'm 100% correct. If any psychic says they're 100% correct, or even 90-something correct, go running away from that psychic, because nobody is. Okay? I can only tell you what I saw in my mind and what JON BENET allowed me to see. And also, towards the end of the dowsing rods, I got Patsy to speak to me. Okay? So both of them did not want to speak. And I still felt a lot of fear from JON BENET. So much fear. And that's when I told her guardian angel to go over and hug her, to intertwine in her soul and give her strength, and her guides, the spirit guides over there, and my spirit guides, I asked to help her out. Because whereas Summer will talk up a storm and be chatty like Shanann as well, JON BENET is very quiet to almost every psychic that's tried to talk to her. And that is the straight up truth. And it's not that she didn't make a transition to heaven. She's been in heaven. She's been done in heaven for a long time. The fact is that she does not like to talk about that. Okay? Because it was the worst day of her life. It wasn't the day, it was the night. During the day, it was happy. Okay, so let me just finish my notes. So people will laugh and smile while speaking of a tragedy. Some people will cry. It's however you've grown up. If I grew up and there was chaos and there was scary times, and so everybody knows I can cry a river, but I was told to be strong, and we had to hang on and cry later. Hang on until we were out of what was going on. The screaming, the yelling, the breaking, the being afraid for our life. We had to wait till that was over and we were safe, and then you can cry. Okay. So yes, he was jealous of the attention JB got. He hit her with a golf club, smeared poop on her toys, and in JB's bed. I believe that's been confirmed. John found her disturbed the evidence. When John Ramsey, the father, found JON BENET, he disturbed the evidence. He took off the tape that was on her mouth. He took the blanket off. Then he put the blanket back on. And he refused a lie detector test. I did not know that. I did my research. I did my research for a few days now. I did not know he refused to take the lie detector test. They also moved back to Atlanta and had somebody else ship their stuff. Okay, I understand that. If you have a house somewhere else, why the frig would you want to stay in this house? I could not do that. I would stay in a hotel. I would, um, I'm pretty sure they stayed there 2 years after it happened. I don't think I would last that long, especially they had so much money they could go here or there. I think she was from Virginia. I'm sure they had places there. Yeah, I'd be out of there, especially for the health of Burke, and I would definitely not pack the stuff up. I would let them pack it up. Maybe just pack up a couple of things. I know what moving is all about. Moving is very stressful. It's like almost like getting a divorce. The stress level when you move is really hard, and but staying in that house probably be worse. But they say that Burke really liked his class. He liked school. And there was some movie where they were talking to him and having him draw a picture of his family. But I don't remember it clearly enough, so I'd have to go back to, I'd have to try to find that. It was from some movie about their life. And he was in a regular class. I wonder if people teased him. I don't know. Okay, so, all right. Now, when I did the sticks, what time is it? Oh my gosh, 44 minutes. All right, well, John Benet is worth it. Okay, so I did the sticks, and I told you it took me so long to contact her. She wouldn't, I felt she was there, but I didn't feel she would talk to me, because matter of fact, I said, will you talk to me about some important things, important questions that might be painful? And it went to say no, then it went to say yes, but it never really moved. And then I just felt the friction like this. Then, all right, so when I finally got to talk to her, it says someone that was there got the paper. Okay, so I asked about Patsy. I said, I need to know if your mom, Patsy Ramsey, knew anything about or was involved in your death. And it was no. I mean, it was hard. I asked it many different ways, because you can't just ask it one way. You have to ask it at least 3 times. At least I do. The way I do it, you don't just say it once, okay? Like if I was doing summer and I said, is your mom, Candace, responsible for your death? The first time she might say no. The second time it might not move. The third time she might say yes. So you always ask it several times, maybe rephrase it. So I told her, are you with your mom in heaven? And she didn't answer right away. And then I said, please let me, I'm open and receptive to receiving pictures. If you want to show me pictures in my mind. I wasn't doing cards, just doing the dowsing rods. And sometimes dowsing rods can't really do it, because it's like they want to give you a sentence or a paragraph and not just a yes or a no. They want to give you a yes but or a no but this is what happened. So kind of the gist that I got was she kept saying no, her mother wasn't, but then again she was saying, in my mind she was saying she wasn't all innocent either. And I was like, why is that? And then right away I'm thinking, oh, she's covering for Burke, right? But I get to that, right? So what she showed me in my mind is that, yeah, her mother was jealous of her because her mother was losing her looks. Her mother was a beautiful woman, but she was getting older. She was 39, getting ready to turn 40, and all the attention was always on John Benet. Nothing on Burke, poor thing. And John Benet, everything was John Benet. And even, her father, her husband, was always all about John Benet. And Patsy was more of an emotional person and, liked hearing how beautiful she was, or liked hearing how great she was in some ways, or just having some kind of feedback. And she has emotionless husband, or he's all about business, he's all about work. And then when he's done with work, they show me him coming home and everything was John Benet, not even Burke. Maybe, Burke, did you do your homework? Burke, did you do your report? You know, or Cub Scouts, or, you know, whatever, like something to put him as a status symbol. And so Burke's not really feeling the love either. He felt a little bit protected, but I feel he was also abused too. We'll get to it. It's hard to say it, okay? It's hard to say it, but I'm going to say it because of the kids. So, and this is my opinion. In my opinion, Katrina Brady, Mystic Brady, in my opinion, for entertainment reasons only, do what you will with it, with the information. I'm pretty sure it can't be held in a court of law, but it could be held in the court of public opinion. And I believe in whatever reading I get, because I feel I am talking with my guides, and I'm talking with the people who I'm trying to get to. And this started about 3 days ago, where I was intently meditating on her and calling her, and she wasn't ready to talk. So I was so happy today she was. Anyhow, she says, no, 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 not Patsy, but she says, my mother pushed me to do too many of those things, and I wanted to play. I just wanted to play. I didn't want to do wigs and hair, pulling on my hair. And she said sometimes she would lose her temper, and especially if I peed my bed. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that, because I was a bedwetter too, till age 8. Actually, right after the divorce, I was doing it a lot, okay? But I always told my mother, I have a dream that I'm on a talking toilet, and the toilet's talking to me, but he's scary. And then I just feel like I go to the bathroom, and then I wake up, and I don't want to wake up and get out of bed, so I dream of this talking toilet. She was like, instead of talking to the toilet, just go to the bathroom. But anyway, she didn't like beat me up. She had to wash the sheets, but she was worried about me, you know, and you know, she was trying to figure out why I was doing that. Okay, so JON BENET, being just, you know, finished with being a toddler, and she's at the age of 6. I guess she was in kindergarten, or maybe was she in 1st grade? No, she just turned 6, so she was probably, well, I'm not sure. I'll have to figure that. I'll have to find that one out. But anyhow, you know, she felt bad about that her mother's reaction was terrible. And she said one time she picked her up out of bed, and she would always bring her right into the bathroom to like shower her off or give her a bath, or just, and the cold water made her cry and scream. And then she said her mother's face looked like crazy, you know, like because she was woken up out of her sleep. And she said her mother was not, you know, not being sweet to her. And then she said she thinks she slipped, and at one point tapped her head, banged her head on the tile. But then I asked her, if was that the same day? And she says no. She goes, that was just another incident where she banged her head on the tile. Then her mother just made her sit down in the water, and she didn't really want to sit down, because imagine waking up out of sound sleep and then having to go in the bathtub, and the water's like cold and chilly against your skin. And then she would rip off the sheets in the bed, and it would be this whole thing that she felt terrible about. And she said, and I wanted to make my mother smile. I didn't want my mother to have the scary face. But I still did not get that was the same night. I did not get that Patsy murdered her and covered it up. Okay? Did not get that. Matter of fact, she said no. She kept saying, she said no, no. See? Okay. So then I pulled back and I said, okay, I'm just going to ask again in a different way, but if you want, I'll try to talk to your mom about it. And then I tried to talk to Patsy, and I asked her, I said, I need to talk to you. I know it's difficult. I'm not standing in a place of judgment, Patsy, because you are already in heaven. You had made mistakes, and you went through your life review, and you are closer and closer, and you're learning what you did wrong, what you did right in life. Nobody is perfect. I wasn't a perfect mother. I'm sure my kids could say a whole list of things that they didn't like about me, okay? But I won't really listen to them until they have their own kids and try it themselves, okay? Because everybody thinks they're going to do a better job than their parents, and I hope I did a better job a little bit. Anyhow, I tried to tell Patsy nobody is perfect. I also told her in my mind that I like makeup, and I would probably do the same thing that she did, which is put on a face full of makeup knowing the cameras were going to come, because you want to look your best. What is wrong with looking your best? I know you're grieving your child, but you want to look your best because that was in her makeup as a person. Makeup, get it? Makeup. That was her thing. And I would do the same thing. I would want to look my best for the camera. Okay? So what? She put on a nice shirt, or she put on her face. All right? She was going to have 50 people in her house. She was going to be going in front of a camera and have 50 million people looking at her. Okay? Or more. The world was going to be looking at her. So I understood that. Okay? And so slowly I felt like she was answering me. And she did say I shouldn't have pushed her because she was entitled. And I heard the accent, like she southern, a little bit of a southern accent. And she goes, she was entitled to her own life. She was entitled to her own life. And I was trying to make her have my life that I chose. And I should have paid more attention to my baby boy. Because I couldn't make up for it. She's saying she couldn't make up for it. After John Benet died, she couldn't make up for it. She said she tried, and they did get a little bit close, but she said something was different about the dynamic, of course. Like, in other words, it was too late. Something had closed down in him. And she said she would never forgive herself for that. But in heaven, she's learning that you can't keep on badgering yourself for your mistakes, that you have to say that, you know what, I recognize that mistake and I would want to do it differently, and I am truly sorry, from my soul to your soul. Hold on a second. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. It's very heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. So let's get some Palo Santo up in this bitch. What happened to my other Palo Santo? I'm sorry. I just had to change the music. It was starting to depress me. The bad thing is, it was for dopamine. I don't feel the dopamine release. Okay, so a little bit different. All right. Yes, John Benet. John Benet. Now let's do Patsy. Patsy. Oh, okay. I just heard we have different names in heaven. I was like, what is that? Whatever we want. We pick our own names. And John Benet, I see her. She's no makeup on, just beautiful, natural beauty with, her hair is like a sandy color. It's not that white blonde wig color. Her hair is like sandy to dark, kind of like my daughter's hair. Nothing was ever put in my daughter's hair. Wait, one second. I got a picture right here. Okay. And this is in the 90s. Okay, see my daughter's hair? It's like a sandy blonde. In the sun, it would get blonder. But basically, and his hair, he was platinum blonde when he was born, and then it got darker. But like that sandy color. Those are my two meatballs. Two meatballs. Anyhow, yeah, so she has sandy color hair, and she's pretty tall. I'm surprised that she's that tall, because I don't think is John Ramsey tall? Patsy Ramsey, to me, I don't know their heights, but to me, Patsy Ramsey looks like mid-height, like 5'5", 5'6". And I think John Ramsey looked like 5'10", but I could be wrong, because Burke is pretty tall. I think Burke is 6 foot. Anyhow, she's pretty tall. She is like, I would say 5'10". So if she would have lived, she probably really would have been a model, or, but she doesn't want, she's showing me like nursing, doctor. She goes, I wanted to be more serious. I wanted to do something for the world, not just stuff with beauty. She goes, that was my mother's thing. And her mother understands that and has apologized to her in heaven. She sees her sometimes, but in heaven you're busy. It's not just like you stay with your loved ones. You have little jobs to do, and you can go be in different places at different times. In a way, this is weird, but it's true. In a way, John Benet acts like Patsy's mom. Yes. Okay. So she said she did. Patsy was sick with cancer, and they showed me that pain, and they showed me that she had 3 brushes with death. One of them was she was going to take herself out. Okay, that's what I heard. And then she was religious, though. So she knew that you're not supposed to do that, because if you do that, you probably won't go see your loved ones, and you just, you can come back in, be reincarnated until you figure out how to deal with your problems and anxiety or depression in a more positive way. So people who are depressed and just want to kill themselves, you come back in. So don't do that. Don't, find another way. Find another person that you could talk to. There is help for that. So anyhow, with her cancer, God let it go in remission, because when her kids were little, I think she even had it before she had John Benet. So she had Burke, and then I think she got the cancer. Then it went away. She had John Benet, and then it came back. Okay, and then it went in remission again. And then in 2006, she passed away from it. But what they're showing me three times that God let her stay alive. Okay, so when she first went over, in heaven, where John Benet was originally, right away, after she left the basement, her guardian angel took her up to heaven right away. She was not in any more pain. But she was still going through, how could my family not protect me? How can my family do this to me? And she learned how to forgive her family, but slowly. So when Patsy's soul went up, first died, her guardian angel was with her, and then she couldn't wait. Where's John Benet? Where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? I couldn't, that was the happiest thing for her, was knowing that she was going to die, because she was that much closer to seeing her baby again. But John Benet was lingering around, but not ready to embrace her. But then she says, then we did. And I help her realize different things. What's important is not your skin. What's important is not how you come into the world. What you present is not your weight, is not your structure of your face, is not how much money you have. All these material things her mother had to learn from her daughter. And so her daughter, John Benet, I know this is going into a lot of details, and you're all wondering, just tell us who killed who, okay? But it's important. This part of the story is important. John Benet became her mother. John Benet was mothering her own mother, okay, if it makes sense. Even if it doesn't, there it is. My coffee got cold. It's ice cold. Okay, so this word. Okay, I got a sage up in here, guys. This is heavy. This is a heavy story. And I want to do Dulce, but I didn't do the dowsing rods on her, but I have a lot of notes. But I will come back after I've done the dowsing rods on her. I don't know when that will be, but hopefully it'll be sometime this week. Well, I mean, actually this weekend could be. Okay, if anybody wants to donate to my channel, you could donate to my post office box or my PayPal. And it's not on my page, but I'll give you a screenshot of it, or I'll put it in the comments. Or you could just email me, and I'll tell you what it is. Okay. All right. I got your spirit guides working overtime. Okay, so I asked her if Patsy did it. She said no. Then I asked Patsy, and she showed me the scene about I shouldn't have got so upset about the sheets. I got so upset, but she was trying to